This is what I like. Today we're testing out the new Lotus Emira with the AMG-derived 400 horsepower 4-cylinder motor. We're gonna find out whether or not you should pay $100,000 for this British sports car. Let's do it. Real quickly guys, don't forget to get entered right now into the Mustang GT giveaway. Yep, we're giving away a 7th gen Mustang GT, and all you have to do is go to speedphenom.com. There's so many ways to get entered, such as picking up your favorite gear. It gives you automatic entries into the Mustang GT giveaway, such as our Drive It Like You Stole It t-shirt, or our hat collections. There's so much on the site, even track day tickets for upcoming track day at Big Willow. Hurry up, get your entries now before it's too late. Our massive sale is ending. I can't wait to announce the winner. One other thing, don't forget to sign up for our track day at Big Willow, Willow Springs Raceway on June 8th. It's coming up, it's less than a month away, and you can join us for driving your own car on the racetrack. All you have to do is go to speedphenom.com and click purchase for your ticket, whether you're going to drive in the beginner, intermediate, or advanced group, or you have a supercar and want to drive it in the exclusive supercar run group. Here's your chance to drive your car on the track. I hope to see you join us for a fun day. Yes, finally, this is it guys. I've got the keys back to the Lotus Emira. This time we're driving the version equipped with the new AMG-derived 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, making about 400 horsepower. 0 to 60 is in around 3.8 seconds. It's a pretty quick car, but my favorite aspect about it is just the beautiful body lines that you find from the front fascia all the way to the rear end, plus the curb weight. This is a Lotus, which means it's derived from motorsport, and being derived from motorsport means it's got some racing DNA in there. So what am I leading to right now? It's extremely light. Today we're going to do a quick walk around of this vehicle in this beautiful backcountry of California, and then we're going to be taking it into the canyons and mountain ranges to find out if it's really worth over $100,000. And you know what, walking around the front end of the vehicle, I just really want to highlight the design of this car because, hold on, I can kind of hear some electronics running still because I just parked it. Anyways, this whole entire front hood is actually lifting up, and there's an entire entry pathway for air, so you can see all the way through towards where the windshield is. If I put my fingers right here, I can see my fingers through the middle section of the hood. It looks really cool and reminds me of Lotus's Hyper car. I'll put that over the screen right now. Then moving all the way down, you do have the heat exchangers to give brake cooling on either side of the vehicle with those radiators. Then you have a center one for the air conditioning or the AC unit of the vehicle. The entire front end, it's physically small. It's not like a really large and long front end. So it gives the vehicle, I would say, a smaller, very simple appeal. Wow, so this is the angle I'm a really big fan of because you have that very sleek and hidden tucked away side intake right there. This car is light. I mentioned that towards the beginning of this video, but to give you an example, it weighs just about 3,200 pounds curb weight. That is incredible. I mean, that is right there next to Porsche 911s. This vehicle, the architecture with it, it's advanced. It doesn't weigh as much as a C8 Corvette. A C8 Corvette is about 36, getting close to 3,700 pounds. Then the newer, higher performance ones are getting towards 4,000 pounds, if not more. So in terms of a price tag competitor, this does have some advantages, even though you could say those cars have more horsepower. I've learned over the years that nothing revolves all around horsepower. It's about creating a very appealing driving experience where the car feels like an extension of you behind the wheel. So speaking about being behind the wheel, when I stand directly in the middle, and this is a mid-engine car, as you know, you're sitting perfectly within the weight because the weight distribution is such that the engine is here, not behind those rear axles, and it's not in front of the front axle. That means that you feel very just central whenever you're turning. So the car is turning with you and around you behind the wheel, instead of waiting for the whole rest of the car to follow that front end where the engine is. This vehicle being as small as it is, the wheelbase is much smaller too than compared to other mid-engine cars. This car is a 101-inch wheelbase, which is 6 inches shorter than a C8 Corvette. So you can I hopefully visually see the difference right now with me standing in the middle. All throughout this vehicle, all you can find are yellow accents to highlight the Lotus badge, and then right here with these brakes, it's a bit dirty right now with the brake dust, but you do have the 4-piston calipers up front, and these brakes, I mean, they are slotted and drilled, so we're gonna see how they perform. Secondly, you do have Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires on this car, so yeah, these are sticky tires, guys, for the road. And if I look closely, we do have 245/35/20s, that's a wide tire, the same width of the front tires on my McLaren 750S. If you compare this against other McLarens like the 600 LT, those cars are so under-tired versus this. They have 225, so this is a wide tire for such a small wheelbase car. I think this is a great choice. Then finally, moving to the rear end of the vehicle, you do have 295 Michelin Cup 2s. The design itself, when you go all the way to the rear, it's not like other mid-engine cars where you can't even see the engine. You can see it. It says Lotus right here, and it's covered away in glass, and you have those 3 exit vents right here, the Emira first edition badge, and a very sleek rear end which kind of curves upwards to give you downforce. I mean, does it have a massive wing? No. Could it use a massive wing? If they did like a crazy track variant, I think this car would look cool with like an underhanging rear spoiler. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys, if you agree. I'm a big fan of the rear end. It looks very advanced and futuristic. If you look at this car compared to other Lotus models like the Evora GT, even the Exige, this is, I think, the best looking one yet, 100% to me. Then you have those 2 center exit exhausts right there with the exit vent for those rear wheels. That'll help give you cooling for the brakes and help with the slipstream effect all around the car with airflow. So that's a quick walk around. Let me open up the trunk, and then let's get behind the wheel and see what it's like to drive. All right, open up the trunk to the Emira. The engine itself having that 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, the AMG motor, it's hidden away underneath this plastic cover, but you can easily get to it by lifting up on these corners, and the whole thing just pops off. It's not too pretty, so I'm not even gonna bother pulling off this cover. Plus, it's pretty warm from the drive. In terms of trunk space, you can see there's plenty of room back here. This car has all like the detail spray in the back than a backpack. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty convenient to drive around with. No, you don't have a front storage compartment, but I much prefer the front end design on this car. I think it's a great sacrifice to have because the elegance with it is off the charts. I feel like so many cars these days have this push and open pull type mechanism right here. Let's get inside, guys. This cockpit is just, it's cool. So behind the wheel of the Lotus Emira, I mean, this whole cockpit's really cool. I love the perforated holes all throughout this leather steering wheel. These paddle shifters, they don't really have much travel. I barely will pull them, and it'll upshift. That's the full travel right there. That is one minor gripe I have. I prefer having more travel, so it feels like I'm like shifting manually. I like this touchscreen right here, this rectangular touchscreen. It just feels sleek. It doesn't have massive bezels, and it's not too oversized. With this metal or this aluminum outline, it looks good. It really does. Let me start it up. It has this cool lifting mechanism, and then you can hit start, or you can push it straight through and hit start, but let's just do it the proper way. There we go. This car is cool because it's different. Not every mid-engine car is like this. All the tan finishes everywhere through the interior. Looks really cool. The seats look cool. You can see directly behind you. You don't need any fancy tech pieces like HD rear view cameras. The view in front of you feels spacious yet advanced and race inspired. Because when you look in front of you, you just see the road. You barely can see the haunches to indicate where those front tires or wheels are. That'll help you for pivoting towards an apex. Side mirrors look really elegant as well. I keep saying that word throughout this video because this car, that's all I'm thinking about is the word elegance. First edition logo. This whole center cockpit section where the transmission selector is pretty neat because, yeah, it doesn't have the open mechanisms where you can manually put in first. You can actually, if I pull back 2 times, move left or right to upshift or downshift. Left would be a downshift, right would be an upshift. And then you can put in park just like that. Down way below, you do have your driver selector mode. So if I pull down, you can see what sport changes, then track
gives you the loudest exhaust possible, but also it does change the stability control to pull all the way down. The other modes will give you more and more of the stability control with a quieter exhaust system and different powertrain tuning. Well, that wraps everything up. I do like how there's a line that matches up with a line right there for your 12 o'clock marker. Let's get on the road and see what it's like to drive.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That sounds good, guys. Listen to that again. You ready? Downshift. Turbos. Pop, pop, pop. This thing is just really fun, guys. I just have to say, it feels light and lively. It feels like an extension of you. It doesn't have too much horsepower where it's overwhelming. It just feels like a car that doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's still playful. It's playful enough for you to be able just to have fun out here on a mountain range. Let's get a feel for the Emira. Wow, this thing feels really, really hooked up. The cut twos are just magic in these canyons. Just pure cornering G-forces. Almost 0.9 Gs. Wow, this thing is crazy. It feels like a proper extension of you while driving it. And I love down low in the RPM when I downshift. Downshift again. Let's listen to that. Pop, 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 pop. What? Suspension is very composed, so it's little body roll. It makes the entire car feel very easy to control corner to corner. Very little nose dive as well. The brakes are stiff so that when I touch them, it's not giving too much deceleration, where I can finally tune that offset of how much I want to slow down. That feels good. It feels like a driver's car. Reminds me of my McLaren, but it's just less horsepower and very similar in weight, where it's not too fast. The turbos, I mean, once you stay high in the RPM, it's very easy to stay in the 400 horsepower power band. Dual clutch feels good, but you can't really wait to the last second to upshift, I find, because if I try to wait until the last second to upshift, that's when it's a bit delayed. Let me show you. See that? I waited to the last second to upshift, and it is a bit of a delay. It just feels fun all the time. So I think anyone really getting into this car, there's a mode for you when it comes to how loud it gets. Like right now it's not as loud. It says the exhaust level is at level 2. It's toned down a bit in sport mode. You can feel it, you can see what the displays. Then for the daily driving, just put it in torque, and then there you go. You're pretty much good for a road trip. Then you can pop back into automatic by pulling back on the gear shifter like that, and then it's a very relaxing car to drive. Weirdly, we've made a few connections to the C8 Corvette. This steering wheel reminds me very much of it in a certain way. The top flattens out, and so does the bottom. So it's not quite a circle, but it's not quite a square, so they call it a squircle because the top and bottom slightly flattens to make it more angular and give you the best visibility of the display in front of you, and then giving you good entry and exit access with the bottom being partially chopped off. Okay, so just pulled off on this amazing mountain overlook, guys. We're gonna conclude the video right here.
Wow, this thing's fun. The noises you're getting out of this car is very engaging. It's visceral. It's a lightweight car, and that's what I like about it. You don't find lightweight cars anymore. Things are getting more and more heavy. I wish they wouldn't go down that route, but these brands obviously have to because things are going towards that electrification route. That means vehicles like this, you won't really find many more of in the future. So with that being said, it's got a good amount of horsepower, it's got a really engaging motor, it's got a good transmission, a dual clutch. This is the fastest dual clutch, or my favorite? No, not necessarily, but it doesn't cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It costs a little over $100,000. So that being said, I think it's a really cool car and I'd recommend it. That is the way I'd like to conclude this video. When you get behind the wheel, it feels like an extension of you. It means it's a driver's car. I like that kind of stuff. We like that kind of stuff here in the channel. I hope these types of enthusiast cars will last a bit longer in the future. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. And subscribe for much for great content coming out your way. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video coming out. Don't forget to get entered right now into the Mustang GT giveaway. It ends soon. You'll find the link in the description down below. Get entered now, guys. I'll see you in the next episode.